thing about working on these N54s is there's so much space. So much space. Now loose. Loosey goosey.
Look into the lens, bro. You keep on looking at the ceiling when you're talking to the people.
I'm just praying that this is gonna go back together. So, we have both outlets kind of settled in here. So what we're gonna do is start getting this front one on. I did use some Vaseline or silicone is what you can use as far as like trying to hold your O-rings because they are O-ring and V-band sealed. And now what I'm going to do is try and rotate this back forward without losing the O-ring and get it into its home. There we go. And we're going to rotate this on to the turbo like so. I lied. Now like so. And try and get this clamp on in the same time. All these stinking vacuum lines flopping around everywhere. Oops. And all the lovely fun fiddly stuff now. Ingenuity right there. So this thing kept flopping down in my way, popped up one of the what the heck is this thing called? Ignition coil. Popped up one of the ignition coil caps, so that way this boost solenoid would sit up in there. Now that this you know, pipe naturally is larger in diameter, tolerances have gotten even tighter, which is making this that much more fun for me. What I'm trying to do now is get this V-band line back up. To do so, I have to be able to have the actual pipe itself sitting on the turbo flat. Oh, this is going to be a task. Holy cow. So, real quick, let's go back over so I can kind of walk you through what struggles I'm having here. As you can see, these have this recess, so these actually sit inside of the snout of the turbo, right? On the new ones, this has been chopped off, and it's now just sealing right here. So what I have is this sliding all over the turbo like this, and the pipe is this big in diameter versus this big in diameter. So trying to get this to sit flat while sliding all over the place and get the clamp over not just this mating surface right here, but the mating surface on the turbo itself is starting to pose a little bit of a, it's frustrating as hell. That's what it is, just frustrating. So we keep on going. This right here seems like this is going to be a good solid 20-30 minutes. Some mature curse words might come out in the middle of all of this, but I'll just keep fiddling with it. Shoot.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. So honestly, it's honestly a basis of patience and finger movement. Honestly, in this here, so in the back here, you can't see anything whatsoever that you're doing, and then down here, it's basically a game of getting it actually centered on there, getting it centered on there. So the original one. So the original one slips in just like this, snaps into place, and this goes inside the turbo. Now that one is more kind of like this. So it just sits on there like that, and you gotta meet them two together, and then take that clamp and get it around the notch here and the notch there at the same time. They're not like extremely large notches, so it's definitely a decent amount of work. So honestly, if it's because being the complicated area it is and everything, even as an actual BMW technician, with the factory parts, they just snap right into place. This is modified parts, so they don't snap into place. Not sure why they weren't designed that way, but that's kind of how it is.
I would really think it's just because of the to avoid any kind of restriction. So a lot of people that are going to be doing this down the road may be planning on bigger turbos, like I might be one day, depending. I really don't want to have to go through all of that again, though.
Yeah, no, that was pretty interesting.
That honestly was a solid 30-something minutes trying to get that onto the front turbo. Maybe more. Maybe more.
Yeah,
it felt like an eternity. It
really did.
It was probably still more.
And then we got, so it came with this little silicone connection for this tube and this over here. So a little gold plating there for heat resistance and everything, and then we have these two clamps, which are also kind of a little bit of tricks you gotta do with these. You don't want them to slide off, obviously, because they'll just end up sliding off with vibration and everything.
And then we have a big boost leak after that.
Yeah. So speaking of boost leaks, so did we already record that about the one that was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had started talking about it. So essentially, what we have going on with this boost solenoid over here, trying to rehack somebody's hack/patch job here. So, yeah, we'll see how that holds up. I don't have too much faith in that, so I'll have to end up getting a new boost solenoid when it's all said and done. But
alright, in the end, we used super glue and they used silicone, so we might win.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So essentially, the coupler coming off the outlet, going into the radiator, Jesus, intercooler. We did have to reposition that coupler as well, which was tons of fun as well. Good deal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start getting our lines reran, boost solenoids reconnected, get the heat shield reran inside of here, and then do a startup. You ready? What's up, YouTube? So this is closing of part 2. It's after 3 o'clock in the morning. Just everything went well. Install, freaking exhausted. Need a final shower, go to bed. These outlets are definitely something that's going to make it an improvement if you have larger upgraded turbos. You're going to be maxing out your current turbos. Not really too much benefit if you are still using the factory stock size turbos, again, unless you're going to be maxing them out. So you want to be running 20 or more PSI. Way too much premature wear for me personally. Next year I do plan on installing larger turbos. Still up in the air about if I want to do a single turbo. Definitely not looking forward to doing this again when I do install these turbos. Just the way that the snout on the actual turbo versus the snout on the outlet itself. There's no indentation, there's no groove, there's no nothing. It is literally two flat surfaces rubbing together. And you have no room, no space, can't see what you're doing, so it is literally just feeling, guessing, and patience the entire time. I'm sure there's going to be several times in that video you're going to kind of see the frustration. Might be comical for some, but I can tell you it pretty much was a living hell. Again, I'm exhausted, it's late at night, so you're going to excuse my voice. Not exactly, mine's not running too well right now. So definitely enjoyed it. It was a whole lot of fun. It was a learning experience. If you're looking for something a little bit easier, silicone outlets are going to be a whole lot easier for you. A lot of different ones out there do come with the snouts, so they'll line up inside the turbo itself. Snouts, the adapters, will line up inside the turbo itself. You'll clamp those on, and then your silicone is going to go on top of that, and you can clamp it on from there and make it a whole lot easier for you. And like, subscribe, comment what you'd like to see in the future below. Anything that you may have wanted to see that we didn't put inside of this video. Again, it was kind of a on-the-fly learning experience. I don't really put too much thought and preparation when I'm making these videos. I kind of just like to go for it. If I do, then I feel I'm kind of like acting it out. Just really no fun. As far as tools go, basic assortment of tools. Everybody who has ever been hands-on with BMWs, you're going to need Torx, you're going to need e-Torx, you're going to use the internal, external Torx, right? 8mm, 10mm, as far as your normal sockets go. 5mm Allens are very, very common. Pretty much to get that microfilter housing and microfilter off, it's 8mm the whole way across. There's going to be 6 of them on the actual microfilter, and then 2 on either side of the housing. It lifts off really, really simple. From the factory, you get 4 5mm Allen bolts that hold the engine cover on. That lifts up from there, and everything else is pretty much going to be extensions, wobble extensions, swivel extensions, 10mm, 8mm. You go from there. I'll see you guys next time.